starting today. This series is about multi-threading in Java. This series will cover in details from the very beginning of Java threads, how Java threads work, how can you achieve concurrency, how to go through the mutual exclusions parts of threads so that ensuring that no overwriting of thread variables happen, how to ensure that visibility is there, how to use synchronization, how to use thread pools, what are the features that Java provides around these threads. We will go through each and every details about multi-threading in Java in this course. We all know that whoever the programmer in Java is, they are generally very comfortable with working with the classes, the object-oriented programming part, but most of the Java programmers are not that comfortable when it comes to using multi-threading. So my basic aim with this course is that even if you are a very beginner in Java, or if you are a working professional in Java who is working in Java for the last n number of years, for both of you this lecture series should be equally useful, and I wish that I will be able at the end of the series to make you people very comfortable with using multi-threading in Java. So now let us begin with this lecture series. In the first lecture of this series we will be studying about basics of Java threads and the differences between threads and process, how Java program starts, what are the different kind of threads, and how you can check the properties of different kind of threads. Now to on the very basic definition part, that what is exactly a thread. So we all know that Java is by default multi-threaded programming supporting language. That is, you can have multiple threads working concurrently. Now a multi-threaded program contains two or more parts that can run concurrently. Each part of such program is called a thread, and each thread defines a separate path of execution. We will with this slide we will try to go through that what are the differences between a threads and a process. To understand these two differences about threads and processes is very important, because this is how we will get to know the jinx of why do we need threads when we already have processes. So let us start. Process is basically a program in execution. That is, let's say whenever you start your Windows media player, that is a process. Whenever you start a browser, that is a process. Whenever you start any code that you have written, whenever you run that program, that is a process. Threads are basically part of a process. Threads can't exist independently. Threads help in concurrent execution of parts of a program. So a program in execution is a process, and threads basically try and help in concurrent execution of parts of a program. Now processes generally don't share memory with other processes. That is, each and every process has dedicated memory given to them, and they use that part of the memory to store the data that they want and retrieve the data that they want. Whereas a thread shares the memory inside a process. In the first point we learned that threads are basically, they help in concurrent execution of parts of a program. That is, threads exist inside a process, and inside that process memory space, all the threads which are part of that one process, they use that process's shared memory. Now since threads use a shared memory of a process, they can share data with each other, and generally threads do share data with each other, whereas process generally don't share data with each other. In Java, when we run a jar using java-jar, a process is created, and inside that process lots of threads can be created. To understand, if you want to check that what is a process, if you have a Ubuntu laptop, or even if you have a Windows laptop, you can go to shell and you can try PSAUX. PS stands for process, AUX is basically which time the process is created, which the user created the process, and then you can give a pipe and then grep Java, so it will list all the processes which are running in which their process names have Java inside it. So you can check that if you run a program with java-jar, you can see that one process is created. Obviously, since processes have their own memory and they use their own resources, they are much more resource consuming, whereas threads are lightweight. That's why if you should always try to have a single process, and internally you should try to open up threads and run the parts of the program which can be run independently in different threads, so that concurrent execution can take place rather than opening multiple processes to execute a part of your job fastly. Now let us go through the concept of main thread in Java. Now we know that inside Java, whenever a Java process is started, the first thread that starts the execution of Java code is called the main thread. The main thread internally can open a lots of threads. Main thread is generally the last thread to get killed in the case of a shutdown. To check the execution of main thread, what you can do is, whenever you are writing code in Java, you can just go to your main program, your main class, or your whenever you should go to your main method, and inside that you can check that what is the thread ID which comes, and that is the main thread of your that program. Let us go through daemon threads in Java. So daemon threads are basically very low priority threads in Java which keeps on executing in the background. One of the most famous examples of daemon thread is garbage collector. I have created a detailed video about garbage collectors in Java in my previous playlist of Java interview preparation. I will be providing description of that video, and I will be providing link of that video in my cards, so please feel free to go through it. Now let's go back to daemon threads. If we know that if daemon threads are very low priority threads, and daemon threads are the one which execute garbage collector. Now if all the user threads have finished execution, the JVM terminates the daemon threads and then shuts down. So basically daemon threads can't stop JVM from shutting itself down even if it is in between of some work. So if all the user threads have finished execution, the JVM will terminate the daemon thread and shut itself down. Now how can you create a daemon thread? The creation of daemon thread is like of any thread. I will be creating separate videos where I will be explaining how to create a new thread, what are the different ways to create a new thread, how can you set different properties in a thread. But just to know that whenever you create a new thread, if you have the object of that thread, you can just call the method setDaemon and pass a boolean variable as true, so that thread will be marked as a daemon thread. And if you call the thread.setDaemon as a false, then that daemon, if that is a particular daemon thread, then it will be converted into user thread. So I hope that this lecture got you in basic introduction about threads in Java, and I will see you in the next lectures. If you like this lecture, please subscribe to this channel, and I will be uploading new videos about multi-threading in Java in very frequent manner. So subscribe this channel, like this channel, and if you want, you should share this video with your friends on WhatsApp and on YouTube also. Thank you.